Let's start with the basics. Neither you or I asked to be here, but we are here. And you can make a decision. You can decide that this is all pointless. You can decide that it's all extremely meaningful. You can literally decide whatever you want. You can decide that a chair is your God. That's the quote unquote meaning of life. The meaning of life is that we get to decide what the meaning is. And for many people, the meaning for them is to simply make a lot of money and for people to envy them and admire them. But I would say my argument is everybody who participates in that sort of dynamic is extremely empty. And I know that we can all put on a smiling face and we can just go laugh and giggle and we can showcase our vehicles and showcase our lifestyle and what we're doing, but people are clearly empty as hell. And you know how I know people, you know how you know somebody is empty and unhappy? You know someone is empty and unhappy when they can't have meaningful conversation, when they can't be vulnerable, when they can't reciprocate, when their concerns are shallow. I believe it's due to the physics of our humanity that shallowness only leads to emptiness. I don't believe that we have a choice, most of us. I do believe that there's a spectrum of humanity where someone could really be a sociopath to where maybe they don't feel, right? They don't really feel. But I do believe, because many things, as I've grown and evolved and developed my perspective, I don't even necessarily have to feel something. It resides at the level of principle. Like for instance, like I believe in massive amounts of efforts to be reasonable. For instance, I don't feel it. I don't feel anything about that. It's at the level of principle. I believe that I must be reasonable. I believe that I must engage in a healthy lifestyle to the best of my ability. I believe that I must fight my toxicity. And at one point, this was all at the realm, at the plane of feeling for me, and it was all a very emotional experience, especially when you do what I would call disentangling the Christmas lights, because I had swept so much under the emotional rug. And there were things that, unbeknownst to even my conscious mind, were residing within my internal realm. And so, yeah, it was. I had a lot of cathartic experiences with my epiphanies and a lot of emotion. I will moving forward in the future with a lot of things, but now it's not so much about feeling with a lot of my perception. It's at the level of principle. I just know it at the level. It's like what I call. It's at a higher plane of consciousness than purely my feelings. And I do mean to marginalize feelings just a little bit, because feelings are as powerful as feelings are. It's like anything else. It's like as powerful as fire is, as powerful as nuclear energy is, as powerful as electricity is. It can all be mishandled. It can all be misused. It can all be misappropriated. And I would argue that our feelings, we we allow them to get the best of us. We allow them to pollute our perception. We allow them to prevent us from really clearly seeing ourselves, like seeing ourselves as clearly as possible. And I am fairly obsessed with seeing things as clearly as possible, only because in the context of doing so, my decisions are wiser. I've only benefited from it. That's why I've benefited significantly from it, and not purely. There has been a consequential side effect of an external benefit, but my concern has always been the internal benefit. Money matters. I understand this, but something matters more than money for sure. At least, like, money's a constant, but there's also another constant. You're living every day within yourself, and there's something inside you that can either feel deprived or feel fulfilled. And I really strongly believe that even with the most basics, like let's say you're in a one bedroom apartment and all you can afford is meat, vegetables, and fruit, I would say you're good. Now, okay, now transportation, that is a major factor, right? And let's say hopefully you're able to get from point A to point B. But if you're able to get from point A to point B, and you got food, water, fruit, vegetation, and if you have access to that, you can really take advantage of even those meager ingredients and pursue wisdom. Now, environment matters a lot as well. But see, here's the problem. If we want our fellow man to have better environments, we collectively have to be focused on and interested in and invested in better subject matter. I'm never going to stop talking about it until there's something that changes. Our conversations are shallow. Our fixations are shallow. It's nonsense. We are constantly polluting our minds, and then we complain. We're constantly polluting our minds, and then we complain. We're constantly polluting our minds, and then we complain. It's so nonsensical and silly. We are fools. This is why I'm saying we're fools. And I want to make it clear, everyone is a fool. Literally everyone. You're the most amazing neurosurgeon in the world is in some way, possibly at some point, a fool. What I'm speaking to is the fallibility of our humanity, which is if you refuse this truth, I feel like you're refusing growth, straight up. I've only benefited from my mentality, from this perception, from this philosophy, from this acknowledgement. I have only benefited. I've only benefited. When I don't grow, when I don't evolve, you know what it is? When I don't grow or evolve, it's because I'm not acknowledging these truths. It's because I'm trying to be, I'm holding on to this illusion. As so smart and wise that we are, we really do feel like we need to hold on to these illusions because at the same time there's a smartness, there's a sharpness, but like I said, there's a fool within us that we love our illusions, we love our falsities, we love our artificiality, we love our imaginative circumstances. There's a lot of people that have a very good position. There's a lot of people in this world that have a good job that pays them well. And they think very, very highly. I mean, if you would let them tell you, they think very highly of themselves. They think they're very great. And yet you get down to it and interact with them and you get into the details and the nuance of their life. They are deeply, deeply, deeply unhappy. And I don't know why this is just not understood as a fact at this point. And yet these deeply, deeply, deeply unhappy people don't want to, these deeply unhappy yet so successful people don't want to engage in the harder work of transcending their humanity and recognizing that what we see as quote unquote life in the year 2026 is very much so artificial. It's as artificial as anything else. There's the laws of nature, there's the laws of existence, and then there's what human beings have created as a result of trial and error and as a result of just how history unfolded. But how we live today is not a law of nature. What human beings are doing right now is not necessarily a law of existence. This is us allowing things to happen due to our fallibility. If there's a law of human nature, and the law of human nature is that we are stupid. We could be as smart as we want to be, have all the advanced technology, but because we could make so much positive change could occur if human beings collectively en masse truly set their sights on a positive goal. But we don't. Why? Because of our bigotry, because of our prejudice, because of our insecurity, because of our foolishness. I know it sounds like it sounds even naive. Somebody would argue like that's naive, but it's you can call it naive. I'm saying it's foolish that we don't collectively act in our best interest. A beehive collectively acts in their best interest more than we do. I'm saying we're silly, and we're especially silly and the larger in numbers we are, because we let fools speak for us. We let fools dictate our trajectory. And then we just go about it. And then people with wisdom are lobotomized and castrated and they don't speak out. They're just like, well, I'm just going to go live my life. Okay, fine. But this all has consequence. This just all has consequence. And what really should be going on right now is collectively us as human beings, whether no matter our skin color, no matter our gender, we should all be talking about what can we do to be more harmonious. That really should be the bottom line. And yet what I see is, oh, they said that, then I'm going to be like this. Or we still want to engage in business as usual because of the sweet, sweet, bitter taste of hatred. And I understand, listen, I have never let myself not feel hatred. I'm very acquainted with hatred. I'm very acquainted with rage. I'm very acquainted with all the, like, this is not even about what I'm telling you, that is a dead end. It's a dead end to base your decisions off of that. It is absolutely a dead end. Which is just so ironic to me because the real answer would be collectively for us to be on some love your neighbor as yourself stuff. And we purportedly have so many Christians in this country. Yet I still see such discriminatory behavior from everybody. People so obsessed with color, people so obsessed with race, people so obsessed with the most trivial aspects of who we are as human beings. And no recognition of your fallibility, of my fallibility. It's such a joke. We are a joke. That's where you should be applying your rage to. That's what you should be applying your anger to. The fact that you're a joke. The fact that I'm a joke. The fact that we're not trying hard enough. The fact that we're not fighting the right battles. But no. Let's just hate on. It's the green people, and it's the red people. It's these people. It's that people. It's this. It's just that. It's a bunch of fucking humans doing what humans tend to do, and what humans have done historically for thousands of years at this point. Be fools. And we're not making the wiser choices. We're making very human decisions. But the whole point of the Spirit is that the whole point. Why was Jesus such a dysregulating force? How did Jesus come in and shake things up? Because what he was saying was radical, and we're seeing radicalization in the most negative kind of way. But we're not seeing like a positive radicalization. And I'm not talking about pacifism. I'm merely talking about really, at a minimum, recognizing that we're all humans. At a minimum. But we can't even do that. That's how weak we are. But no, instead of someone's conclusion being, oh, that's how weak we are, the conclusion instead is, yeah, that group just is just so you're all stupid. You're all stupid. And until we all see that, until we want more than the norm, more than business as usual as human beings, we're going to continue to have nonsense. And it's your fault. It's all of your fault.